Welcome to Networking RX, a podcast devoted to helping business professionals like you enhance your networking skills in order to become more proficient giving and receiving quality business referrals and improving the overall quality of your life and the lives of those around you. The Networking RX podcast is a production of AmSpirit Business Connections, an organization whose mission is to empower business success through networking.
Welcome back for another episode. This is Frank Agin, founder and president of AmSpirit Business Connections. Thanks to those who are tuned in and those who've been tuned in the past. We couldn't have a podcast without an audience. And thanks to those who are now subscribed. That's, after all, a great first step to building a loyal base of followers. And when you subscribe, you ensure that you get every episode as we release them. Okay, on with the show. Here's a new revelation. Being known, liked, and trusted is the key to successful networking. I know, that's no new revelation. I've said it before, and I'm only going to say it 30,000 more times. But it's true. Having people know us, like us, and trust us is vital to successful networking, right? This is an ongoing theme, and it should be. I've said this before as well. One of the most effective ways of becoming known, liked, and trusted is providing value within your network. In other words, giving to others is a great way for people to know you, like you, and trust you. When you give to others, people want to know you, they can't help but like you, and that just leads into them trusting you. Now, when I mention giving to others, I know that it generally conjures up images or thoughts in people's minds of reaching for their wallets to dole out paper or plastic. That's certainly giving, and that giving is certainly appreciated, but in the long term, it's not sustainable. When you give like that, you part with an aspect of your wealth, a piece of your wealth, and that helps to improve the wealth of another. But you can only do that so many times before you're living out on the street. And I know that's an exaggeration, but the point remains is that when you give money to somebody, when you give an asset to them, something that you own, you're depleting yourself, and you can only deplete yourself so much before you run out. So again, it's not sustainable. But I find that there's a great way to give to others, one that will never deplete you. It'll never deplete your resources. It'll never make you poorer. In fact, it'll actually make you richer by giving to other people. What is it? It's creating triads. What's a triad? A triad is simply introducing two people you know to each other. Two people you know that don't know each other. Introducing them creates a triad. I know that doesn't sound like some great revelation, but it does fall under the heading of common sense, but not common practice. Often I see people reluctant to make introductions, and I don't understand it, but they seem to be fearful of losing control. In other words, if they introduce two people, somehow or another, they're losing out. And again, I don't understand that because I see so many positives to creating these triads, of introducing people. In fact, much of my giving, much of what I do on a day-to-day basis of helping people is creating these triads, introducing to people that they wouldn't otherwise know. Now, I understand that there are certain professions, there are realtors, there are business brokers, and there are a lot of professions out there where you serve as a broker between two people, and introducing them and pulling yourself out of the middle doesn't necessarily make sense. I get that. I'm not advocating that those people change the way they do business. But for the vast majority of us, we're not brokers. And there is no value in not introducing people. In fact, there is value in introducing people. Actually, there's more than just value there. I see creating triads as a powerful networking strategy. And there are some benefits to doing this. There are benefits to introducing people, and I'm going to review those benefits and my feeling on them. First, as I've stated, when you create a triad, when you introduce people that don't know each other, it costs you nothing. It costs you absolutely nothing. It might cost you a little bit of time to connect them via email, to connect them at a meeting or over a cup of coffee, but from a financial sense, it really costs you nothing. So you're able to give to somebody without depleting your resources. And that's the first benefit of it. The second reason this strategy is such a powerful networking one is this strategy provides you an endless means of giving. You see, everyone you meet, every new person you meet, provides you with a potentially endless series of potential triads that you can create. So if you know hundreds of people right now and you meet somebody new, and I'm not saying you introduce that somebody new to everybody, but when you meet somebody new, there's lots of new people that you can introduce them to. So with each new person that you meet, you have a tremendous opportunity to give. And even if you're not meeting new people, you have a tremendous opportunity to give just by introducing the people that you already know. Think about it. Think of the potential that you have with the people that you already know and the people that you know that they don't necessarily know. Let me work through some math real quickly. Let's say you know 20 people and only 20 people. And I know that's a gross underestimate of the number of people you know. But let's say you know 20 people and none of those 20 people know each other. If you stop and do the math, there is 190 different introductions that you can make. 190. That's a staggering number of introductions that you can make. A staggering number of giving that can come from it. And all of that is costing you nothing but a little bit of time. Another benefit to this powerful networking strategy is that when you become known as someone who creates triads, you become someone who's sought after. People want to know you because you represent a potential opportunity, a tremendous potential opportunity to them for future connections. So as people seek you out, it serves to expand your ability to create triads. If you were listening to the program a few weeks ago, I did an interview with a gentleman by the name of David Gertler. David Gertler is the founder of TrebleNetwork.com. Treble Network is an online platform for introductions and referrals and granting wishes and helping one another. But if you listen to that program, you listen to that interview with David, David shared that he was somewhat introverted. He is somewhat left brain. He's got an engineering background. He went to RPI, which is a very math, computer science, engineering type school. And he had math, computer science type jobs. And when he was between work, when he was in transition, he did a lot of creating triads, meeting people and introducing people and not really thinking about it. But what he noticed was the more he created triads, the more that people got to know him as somebody who was a connector of other people, he would have people who would seek him out. And every time somebody would seek him out, it would give him one more person that he could refer to his growing network. He became known as a connector. And he started to have an endless supply and continues to have an endless supply of people who seek him out so he could introduce them to the other people that he knows that they don't necessarily know. The fourth benefit of this powerful networking strategy is reciprocity. You see, when you create a triad, you have two people that you've helped. You've had two people that you've created value for. You have two people who are sitting there singing your praises. But best of all, you have two people that you have instilled in the notion of reciprocity. You've done something for them, and human nature, they feel compelled to do something in return. So with every introduction that you make, every triad you create, it's costing you nothing, but you're creating legions of people out there that know you, they like you, they trust you, they want to help you in return. So it's almost like you're making little investments. All these introductions, all these little triads are investments that you're making in the world, and those investments will come back to you. Again, you don't know when, you don't know how it'll come back to you, you don't know where it'll come back to you, but in time, these little investments are going to come back. These triads will continue to will pay you dividends, will continue to pay you dividends over time. The final benefit, at least the 5 benefits I could determine with respect to creating triads. Creating triads serves as a catalyst for opportunities for you. Think about it. There are no two people in your life that you know the same. Each individual knows you a little bit different, knows you under different circumstances, different context. Again, no two people know us the same. And because of this diversity, as we introduce them, it creates opportunity. The best way to illustrate this is through an example, through a personal example of mine. Years ago when I was practicing law, I knew two people and they didn't know each other. One, we'll call him John, was a property casualty agent. And I knew John. He was a new property casualty agent. He was really committed to what he was doing. He was certainly somebody I knew, I liked, and I trusted. And I think John knew me, liked me, and trusted me as well. I could get John referrals. I was practicing law. I could see opportunities for him. He didn't necessarily see opportunities for me, and that was fine. But there was another individual I knew, Jeff, who was a CPA. Jeff and I, we knew each other, liked each other, trusted one another, and we referred lots of business back and forth. And Jeff, because he was a CPA and I was an attorney, he had a real understanding of the types of things that I was looking for. And he understood what was a good referral and how he could help me, and I could help him in return. Well, I introduced John and Jeff, and I won't get into all those details, but I introduced John and Jeff, and they got to know each other, like each other, and trust each other. And John was new to an insurance firm that was new to town. And because he was new to this firm, he knew lots of agents, lots of new agents. And what he knew is that all these new agents needed an accountant. They all needed an accountant. It's something that really anybody in business should have as an accountant, somebody, a trusted person that they can run their finances by, get them set up appropriately, so on and so forth. And so John was able to refer lots of business to Jeff. Well, Jeff understood me. So Jeff could see all these new agents that were coming in to be clients of his, and he understood where he could serve them, but he also understood, because he understood me, and again, he understood me differently than John understood me, he understood that all these new agents probably needed to be incorporated or needed to be in limited liability companies. And so because of that introduction, it really opened up a gateway of lots of new clients for me, because I had connected these two people, and one knew me in a different context and could see opportunities that the other one couldn't see. So when we create triads, there's the potential for this catalyst, the potential for these people to come together and one or both have an epiphany with respect to you that can lead to greater opportunities. I'm sure this whole conversation begs the question, aren't referrals better than introductions? Arguably, referrals are better than introductions. Most people would say, I would rather have a referral, I'd rather have a paying client than it would be an introduction to somebody new. And that's fine. Referrals, however, aren't always easy to come by. You're not necessarily going to stumble on those every day. But we can make introductions every day. We can make introductions, and those introductions have lasting value. A referral leads to a client, you serve the client, and you get paid, and the situation arguably is done. But when we start making introductions to people, when we create these triads, we create lasting, long-term opportunity that our network can take advantage of, and it just continues to provide us benefits and provide us benefits and provide us benefits.
This is Tom Anderson. I'm the founder and CEO of AcceloWeb. We are a 15-person website design firm and search engine marketing company. We help our clients with websites, search engine marketing, and a lot of web hosting as well. At AcceloWeb, we've achieved great success through professional networking. And part of our reason for success is that I'm a franchisee of AmSpirit Business Connections. You see, a few days each week, I commit a couple hours to building my AmSpirit franchise. The rest of the time, I'm all about growing AcceloWeb. The neat thing is that my AmSpirit franchise helps AcceloWeb, and AcceloWeb helps feed my AmSpirit franchise. If you're interested in learning more about the AmSpirit Business Connections franchise opportunity, contact Frank Agin using the email at the end of this program. If you want to learn more about my experiences as a franchisee, or if I could answer any questions about websites or search engine marketing, email me at tom.anderson@exceloweb.com. That's EXCELLEWEB.com.
Thanks for joining us on the Networking RX podcast. Please put what you've learned into action today and let us know if you have questions, comments, or ideas for future topics. You can email them to us at podcast@amspirit.com. That's AMSPIRIT.com. Finally, so you never miss an episode, be sure to subscribe to the Networking RX podcast through iTunes, Overcast, or however you receive your podcasts. Now get out and network with someone.
The Networking RX podcast is the copyright production of AmSpirit Business Connection. All rights reserved.